Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of Bardic Quest, the show where a group of British trained actors tell fantastical, improvised stories through the medium of Dungeons and Dragons. So, a few bits of housekeeping before we get started. First of all, just need to acknowledge at the top of the episode we've got a few technical issues going on Annina's side, so if things get a little bit janky and clunky, then that's why. But hopefully all digits are crossed, that the internet gods will be merciful and that everything will work out fine. Also, we actually don't have our favourite source of angst, Ollie, today. So the next few episodes will probably be without, well, they will be without Johann. And also, one last bit of housekeeping. Episode 2 of Level Up is now available, which is featuring our very own Mother Hen Dwarf, Thorik, levelling up from level 1 to level 2. So if you'd like a sneaky behind-the-scenes look at Thorik's new abilities, do be sure to check that episode out.
Aha!
So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. Last time, having rescued Sildar Hallwinter from the goblin den within the caves, our heroes returned to the cart of supplies which Thorik had deftly hidden off the side of the road, and they set off back on their way to Phandalin to deliver the supplies to Barthen's provisions. A few hours into their continued journey, however, the cart was ambushed by 4 giant spiders. Whilst trying their best to hold their own against the spiders, Sergei suffered a serious wound after attempting a killing blow off the back of the cart. Johann, feeling indebted to Sergei, who had saved his life in the goblin den, leapt off the back of the cart and pulled him away from the spiders closing in around the bard. He leapt back onto the back of the cart with Sergei as Sildar drove the cart as fast as he could along the road, outpacing the spiders whilst the party attended to Sergei's wounds. It is now dusk on that same fateful day. The sun is setting, casting a dim light across the landscape, with Phandalin only a mile or 2 away. So, whilst you are in the back of the cart, is there anything that you would like to do?
Yeesh, what a day.
Am I present?
Yes, you are present, yes.
Where it pops out of nowhere and
Oh, where did you come from?
I was just under the cart, just fixing a wheel. God, look at the state of you. Come here. And he sort of just stays where he sat, but drags you by a foot towards him. And
Hey, watch it. Ouch.
I'd like to cast Cure Wounds on this poor little friend.
Okay. So how many hit points is that?
Heal my holy energy.
Oh, thank you.
There's 1d8 plus 5, so here I go. Rolling a dice. 7 plus 5, you regain 12 hit points.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's very helpful. Oh. Oh. Wow. Gosh. Thank you so much.
Are you feeling better?
I feel as light as a ferret.
It's pretty light, I suppose. And I'll just sort of bandage the rest of his his wounds just to make sure that they're okay, and just give him a general check over.
Sergei's probably a little dazed, still. Oh, Thorik, you have such a nice beard.
Yes, don't touch it. Just like slaps your hand away. Be still.
Where are we, Thorik?
Sildar, any idea of how far we are away now?
I'd say a mile or two. Not far. Yeah, just looking in front of us, you can kind of see a little bit of a distant town. I think that's the place.
Oh, finally.
Have you ever been here before, Thorik or Sildar?
No, I've not. No, I've got a few contacts down here, but not particularly actually been down myself.
No, Sergei, remember, I've come from Neverwinter with you. This is my first time getting here as well. How many fingers am I holding up?
Look, there's a lot of fingers going on right now. We don't need to count them. We'll be here for a long time, okay?
Okay, you go rest some. Just so I push him down.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do whilst you're at the back of the cart in this last mile or so?
Saga, no? How are you holding up?
I think. Not sure how we're getting on. I think our connection keeps dropping.
Potentially so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she's fine.
I'm actually curious about. I can't remember if last session we learned about Sildar that much. As in, we learned his intentions or why he was heading off to Phandalin.
Okay, did you have any particular questions you wanted to ask him?
Sildar, listen here, friend. So let's get the story straight. Yes, you were traveling along, and you got ambushed. Was that it?
Aye.
Okay. So where were you heading?
Well, to Phandalin.
Oh,
With
I
Gundren.
should have seen that one coming. Really.
You've taken a knock or two, so I'll let you off.
Yes. Who are you again?
Sildar.
Yes,
I assume you're joking.
Yes.
Well, yes, we were on our way down to Phandalin, and as I say, the goblins jumped us, essentially.
Were you traveling with who again? Gundren or Roxy, yes?
That's right.
Yes, that is all coming back to me now.
Heading down to do some business in preparation for you arriving with all of this stuff.
Why did they jump you, the goblins? Do we know?
Not entirely sure. All we know is that they've taken the map that Gundren had.
Taking it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if they knew what it was that they were taking, or if they just took everything they could find, but...
Goblins, cultists, kobolds, and now spiders.
Aye.
This bodes ill.
I'd say so. But we can only carry on with our endeavours and hope that things become a little clearer and don't go awry, essentially.
It is strange. I have never heard of a goblin wanting to read a map.
That's a good question.
What did the map pertain? Was it to Phandalin, or?
No, it's to Wave Echo Cave. The mine that had been lost to time and legend, containing the Forge of Spells.
Does that twig anything in Thorik's memory? Legend or stories or anything?
Roll a history check.
Uh, 14.
14. You've certainly heard of the Phandalva's Pact and Wave Echo Cave, this legendary mine which was the source of great wealth in the region. As Sildar said, its location has been lost to history, and it was originally a mine that had this Forge of Spells in it, which allowed the users of the Forge of Spells to create magical items, which, as I say, it created a lot of wealth in the region. But the town of Phandalin, its original form, was later ransacked by orcs, and the location of the mine lost. And that's probably all you know, really, at this point.
Are you all right, Saga?
I think after the... Oh, I'll live. Nothing that will kill me.
Well, that's good.
Mm.
We can keep it that way.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to heading into town for a bit. Do you know this town, Thorik?
No, never been here. Never been in my life. Not come this far south in a long time.
Okay.
Hope they...
I think we've lost your sound again, Annina.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear you.
Hmm?
Yeah, we can hear you. Say what you were about to say again.
I hope they like strangers.
Aye. Well, big smiles, everyone. Got to make a good impression.
Okay, so you travel further along the road in the direction of Phandalin. The rutted track emerges from a wooded hillside, and you catch your first real glimpse of Phandalin, which is nestled in the rocky foothills of the snow-capped Sword Mountains. The town consists of 40 or 50 quite simple log buildings, some built on old fieldstone foundations, presumably from the previous incarnation of the town that Sildar was just talking to you about. The more old ruins, crumbling stone walls covered in ivy and briars, surround these newer houses and shops, showing how this must have been much larger in its previous incarnation in centuries past. Most of the newer buildings are set on the side of a cart track, which widens into this muddy main street of sorts as it climbs toward a ruined manor house on a hillside at the east side of town. Phandalin's residents seem to be quiet, hard-working folk who have come from distant lands, it seems, with all variety of ethnicities and cultures all mixed into this melting pot of a town. From what you can see, at least, is as the trading day seems to come to an end. There are farmers, stonecutters, blacksmiths, traders, prospectors, and plenty of children running around. The town itself has got no real walls or no apparent garrison or militia of any kind, but you can see that plenty of the adults strolling around do seem to be keeping weapons within the easy reach of them. There's a sense, again, as evening falls in, that visitors are certainly welcome here. There's no attempt, it seems, for any standoff behaviour as you enter the town. You can see in the centre of the town a modest-looking inn as well, and a couple of doors down from the inn you can see a large hall with a notice board outside, and as you can approach you can see the end of children wrapping up their games playing on the town green, and you can see a few townsfolk tending to chores, and a lot of the shop owners locking up their shops for the day. Many people looking up at you as you approach, but all of them seem to just return to their business as you go by. Sildar seems much more at ease as you enter the town, and he says, "Well, it's getting quite late. I think maybe our priority should be to secure some lodgings. I'm told that the local inn is very quaint."
Yes, what do we do with this cart?
Well, we're meant to be delivering it to old Barthen's provisions, but from the looks of things, I think the day is coming to an end. I don't know if he'll even be in his store.
We could maybe pass by there and see if he'd reasonably take stock of it. I don't really want to leave it another day without delivering a charge.
Wouldn't be wise, I don't think. Right, well, let's swing by there then and see if he's present. So Sildar leads the cart a little bit further down to the more southern end of the town, where you can see the store with a sign out the front saying Barthen's Provisions, but it doesn't look as though anybody's presently there. The door is locked. There's no candlelight coming out from the inside.
Thorik will hop down from the cart and sort of tuck his thumbs into his belt, put a smile on, and just do a on the door. Hello.
Silence.
Delivery from Neverwinter.
Sildar looks around, tries to see if he can see any sign of anybody coming.
Ah, sod it. Let's go to the pub.
I like your thinking.
Well, where should we put the cart, do you think? I don't know if there's any stables or anything around here. I don't recall seeing any as I came in.
We could inquire at the pub and ask if there's any way we can leave it.
They might have somewhere we can... They must have travellers coming through here quite a lot, so
Nice.
see what we can do.
Make sure we look after what's in the back as well.
Right. To the inn then, I suppose.
Aye.
Sildar turns the cart around, heads back towards the central part of the town with the large inn, and he parks the car up kind of outside. There's definitely a bit of a hum coming out from inside the inn. He says, I'll stay and keep watch of the cart whilst you venture inside and see if there's anywhere we can put it, shall I?
Good plan.
We'll come back out if we end up staying for whatever reason, then we can see about rooms and maybe a bite to eat.
Righto. Well, good luck.
Great.
So, you head on in to this large 2-storey roadhouse built of fieldstone and rough-hewn timbers. And inside this inn, the common room is finished with like wattle and daub, that kind of white, almost like plaster and timber combination. And it's broken up by a large arching stone fireplace with wooden tables and chairs placed across the wooden floor and occupied with locals nursing mugs of ale or cider, all of them, quite frankly, eyeing you with a little bit of curiosity. And you can see a young human male standing behind a small wooden makeshift bar. But this inn is pretty, I wouldn't say busy, but pretty well populated.
I'm gonna tug at Thorik's kind of jacket and Thorik.
I'm gonna lean down a bit close to him.
Maybe leave the talking to you. You seem to be a lot better with social conversation. But if you don't mind, I'm going to sneak around a little bit and eavesdrop and see what I can pick up. Okay, goodbye.
Sort of gives Saga a look. He sort of like just gently holds onto your collar for a second and just sort of looks at Saga. Just like, we want to make a good impression. So, I mean, if you hear stuff, you hear stuff, but maybe don't make a big song and dance about eavesdropping on people's conversations. They might take it the wrong way.
Oh no, of course not. I'm known for songs and dances, but not in this.
And no pickpocketing, okay?
Oh.
None of that.
Saga, you think so low of me. You know, I would never pickpocket. I'm going to look around and see who's got the most open pockets.
I mean it, Sergei. I mean it.
Do you want to give me a perception check, Sergei?
Yeah.
We've been in here 3 seconds.
It's only going to be a 14. Well, I say, oh, no, it's not too bad.
Yeah, there are a few people paying a little bit more attention to their drink than necessarily their pockets or their purses, but nobody particularly jumps out at you as an ideal target.
Yeah, that is all right. I will just
More so than anybody else, of course.
It's okay. I'll just get chatting to the locals, maybe buy a drink for someone. Try and understand a bit more. There's much you can learn through a drink and conversation.
I'm not bailing you out of jail. Just saying.
I'll talk my way out of jail.
Right. Well, I'll go have a chat with the tavern keep, and you get us a seat and be on your best behaviour, I guess. Saga, do you want to come with me or keep an eye on him?
I'll go find us a table.
Great.
And I grab Sergei by the scruff of the neck and lead him.
You all notice as you're kind of getting yourself settled in here that Johann is nowhere to be seen. You're not sure at what point you lost him, but you're pretty sure he was with you in the cart on the road, so he should have made it into town.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I'm not bailing him out of jail either.
Well, let's go try and make nice, and hopefully Johann will turn up at some point.
And we'll have to fix his mess, I presume.
I stride over to the bar.
Saga, Sergei, you quickly find a table, take a seat. So, Thorik, this man that you see is quite a strapping young man. Bit of a goatee beard, dark short hair, dressed in a sort of beige, skinned, coloured, like tabard vest type thing. And he looks pretty friendly, very welcoming. And he says, I don't think I've seen you here before. Passing through?
No, we've well met. My name's Thorik. I've come with a group of companions here to deliver a cart by the behest of one Gundren Rockseeker.
All right.
And his right-hand man Sildar is with us. He's just looking after the cart. We were hoping to drop it off to, what was the name of the shop again?
Barthen's Provisions.
Barton's Provisions, thank you. We're hoping to drop off at Barton's Provisions, but I fear we've lost the son and he's probably shut up shop. Do you know somewhere that we can leave the cart, or perhaps if he might be reasonable and take the charge from us this evening? I know it's out of hours.
Well, there's no reason why you can't just pop it around the back. I'm sure we'll be able to look after it overnight. Are you staying with us this evening then?
Well, I imagine probably so, unless there's I'll give him away, unless there's another tavern I should be knowing about.
No, this is the best one in town, to be honest with you. Well, if you do want to stay here, is it just yourself and this Sildar chap?
No, it'll be what he counts on his fingers, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it'll be 4 of me and my companions, and then Sildar on top, so 5 of us potentially.
5 of you, right? Well, that all in, that'll be about 25 silver for the night.
Okay.
5 a person, and we can. Don't worry about the cart and stuff. We can throw that in. Call it a first-time deal for new people to Phandalin. Welcome.
Very kind of you. Does that sound a reasonable price?
It is for modest lodgings. Yes, I'd say that's fairly reasonable.
I don't feel like I'm being shafted.
No, it's certainly not on the cheap end, but it's not particularly expensive. You know, it's kind of run of the mill. For something comfortable,
Premier Inn.
And is
maybe,
that for
maybe a little bit
just,
slightly higher than Premier Inn, maybe.
Is that for just one night?
That is per night, yeah.
God, Gotta run out of silver this week.
Saga will give you.
Thorik will pay the amount. He will pay 2 gold and 5 silver for good faith for his compatriots.
So he takes the coinage from you, pops it in his coin purse, and he says, right, thank you very much. Bear with me. And he just pops back behind the bar and grabs a handful of keys. And he says, he kind of chucks them on the bar. and says, "You'll find all the rooms upstairs, and yeah, if you want to pop your cart round the back, I'll." And he waves over to someone, and you see a quite pretty young lady, blonde hair, this kind of greenish brownish dress. She's just popping a couple of pints on a table, and she comes over. And he says, Trelina, my love, could you just make sure that their cart's looked after and, tie it up round the back and make sure it's all safe and that? She looks at you all and she says, oh, yes, of course, no problem. And she runs out the front to deal with the cart.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
No problem.
And what was your name again, sorry?
Oh, my name? My name's Toblin Stonehill. And this is the Stonehill Inn.
Stonehill. So you're in then?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Been here a little while now.
Fantastic.
So, you here on business or pleasure?
Business. Here to deliver some supplies. So it will be secure overnight, will it? It
should be fine. Just gotta, keep an eye out for those pesky red brands. But otherwise, we'll be fine, I'm sure.
The who, sorry?
Oh, the red brands. They're unsavoury sort, but kind of like I don't know how could a gang, I suppose I'd call it.
Are they from here? Are they about at the moment?
Well, they're settled around here. They kind of run amok of the place, to be honest. But I'm sure your cart will be safe. They tend not to do raids on the townsfolk. They're just not particularly pleasant people.
Well, we'll.
It'd be nice for the townmaster to do something about them, but he doesn't seem too interested. Too busy counting coin, no doubt.
The townmaster?
Aye, Harbin Wester. He's a banker by trade, but he's our elected official, such as he is in this place. But cowardly man.
Aye. Well, it's often the townmasters that know little about the machinations of it, and honourable folk such as yourself.
That's right. I think he's more interested in not stirring up trouble than actually doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, I promise you one thing, friend. If we see trouble, we tend not to look the other way. It's a good and bad thing, depending on how you look at it, but me and my friends are not ones to sit idly by, so if you see him, if they come into town, you point them out to old Thorik, alright?
Noted. Thanks. It'd be a pleasure having you stay with us. Did you want any drinks or anything?
Look at me forgetting myself. Of course. we've had a heck of a journey, actually. Yes, some drinks, some food, and maybe somewhere to wash the dust of the road off our backs would be most appreciated.
Well, I could let me think now. I could throw you in a little bit of food, maybe. Let's think. I could throw in a bit of bread and cheese. What do you think?
Bread and cheese, fine fodder.
Righto. Well, let's think now. And drinks. Are you each going to want some ale, or is wine more your thing? It's a bit finer, but.
Thorik, without even sort of, he's trying to think whether anyone would prefer wine, and he doesn't get that far because it's late and he's hungry, and he just goes, "Ale's fine."
Okay, right, and that's for, and he counts Saga and Sergei. Is that for 3? 4. Right. Okay. Right. So let me just do some calculations. That's going to be, let's call it 3 silver and 5 copper for the food and the drinks, all in.
Is that dear? For bread and cheese and a bit of ale?
That's fairly standard.
Okay.
This is for the whole order for all of you, so that might not necessarily be your own cost. but that is for the collective.
Realizing that Thorik's a bit, he's a bit tight-fisted. He's a bit like, what am I getting for my price? A bit of bread and cheese. What's the quality? Is it good mature cheddar? So what was that again? Sorry, 3.
3 silver and 5 copper.
Thorik is now poor.
Just
and
ask Saga for some money.
He says, thank you very much. And he takes the platters and starts heading over. He's got like his fist through the handles of the tankards. Very practiced at carrying more than 1 pint in one hand. Well, I assume they're probably going to bring the food. So he says, thank you very much. You've been great. And takes probably
Nice to meet you.
Heads over to the table. Food's coming.
Oh. Thank you, Thorik. Very generous of you.
That's all right. I've booked us rooms. If you don't mind, I don't mind fronting it. It was 5 silver. I got one for Sildar as well.
She just takes some coins. I don't know, 5 silver coins and goes, there you go.
Cheers.
I don't like owing people.
That's fair enough. Well, it was 5 silver each a night. Unfortunately, I'm happy to front people if they're a bit short, but I won't be able to afford that another night.
I have some coins, so if we need to stay another night, that shouldn't be a problem.
Great.
But yeah, I've thrown you 5 silver coins for now.
Thank you very much.
Who's kind of sat around us? What kind of... Are there other tables near us? Or?
There certainly are. So there's quite a few people here. There's a barmaid kind of scurrying around, having a good chat with some of the locals that are there. That's different to the lady that Toblin called over. This is a different lady. There is a old man sat at a table. There is a kind of middle-aged looking man, very grubby looking, kind of... I mean, he's in pretty good shape. He obviously does manual labour of some kind. So there's him. There is a rather grumpy looking, rather large woman, and there's a little boy running around as well in between tables. He's probably about 10 maybe.
Okay. I'd like to head over to the old man, one of the second ones you said. Just slide off my chair, because I imagine my feet have been dangling this whole time.
Just slide all over.
Slide off and kind of head up to him.
Okay, so this guy is wearing a lot of browns. He's, got grubby hands, again, very much the sort to be toiling away during the day. He smells a little bit of countryside, shall we say, but which is probably quite a refreshing odour for you, Sergei.
I've chosen my man well.
And he's just cradling an ale, kind of minding his own business at this point.
I'd like to climb up on maybe a stool nearby or pull a stool up.
And just sit next to him.
Yeah, I'm just not going to say anything initially.
He takes a sip of his drink. He's not really noticed you at first, and then kind of his eyes kind of set on you before he actually takes his sip. He takes his sip anyway.
Good evening, gentle sir.
Who are you?
Just a local traveller.
Well, what do you want?
Now, I am new to the town. I do not know much about it. And I just would like to know your favorite song as I pull my lute out.
Favorite song? I do quite like the Pig and the Elfin Maiden.
Okay, I've never heard of it, but I will try and do my best to play what it might sound like. I'd like to play a song for him.
Oh, okay. Give me a performance check then, please.
That is going to be a 11.
11, okay.
7 plus 4.
So, you strum on your lute. There's the odd bum note here and there, but you style it out. You see him kind of watching as you play. Any particular lyrics you'd like to throw into this?
It's just an instrumental. It's more to drown out any conversation me and him might have.
Oh, I see.
So you're...
Oh, go ahead.
I'm curious, as I say, playing the song. Lot of villages I have been to, not many people walk around with weapons at the ready. Is there a reason for this?
Occasionally we might find ourselves on the receiving end of banditry and, the occasional red brand.
Sorry, who?
The red brands. They're nasty folk.
Are they,
Drive us mad.
are they local?
Hey?
Are they local to the town?
Yes, they do spend a lot of time driving us a little bit nuts.
Well, nuts in what way? Do they steal, attack?
Well, they pillage, they murder, all sorts of rumours I've heard of their unsavoury nature. Not been on the receiving end of them myself, I must say, which
Of
I'm very
course.
glad of.
And just so I'm not
I'd like to
on the
keep it that
receiving
way.
end- Yes, no. And just so I'm not on the receiving end, how would I be able to tell them from everyone else?
Oh, you'll be able to tell they're unpleasant-looking folk.
Good to know. Would you like a drink?
I'm sure if you rub them up the wrong way, they'll make themselves very known to you.
Very good to know. Very good to know. Well, it's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed my song.
Oh, it was fine.
Yes, no tips needed. Thank you.
Oh, good. And he drinks his ale.
Okay, I'd like to slide off and head back to the table, still playing the song as I approach everyone.
So you, Saga and Thorik, you see Sergei having had a very quiet conversation and playing on his lute. He quietly returns, continuing on his lute, just to keep the atmosphere going, and he kind of sidles back over and sits at the table, continuing to play.
Is there anyone here who's looking at us, like, kind of going, who are these folk? Are we drawing attention?
I wouldn't go so far as to say necessarily drawing attention, but there's certainly a curiosity.
Okay. Saga would just be sort of looking over her shoulder, seeing if anyone's staring at her or them.
Okay.
Bit nervous.
Give me a perception check, please.
Ooh.
Are you enjoying your bread and cheese there, Thorik?
Oh,
So yeah,
sorry.
6.
6.
Dear. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are the odd people kind of glancing over. Again, nobody paying you particular attention beyond general curiosity.
Okay, she'll just drink her ale.
Thorik suddenly goes, "Oh shit, Sildar!" and he runs out the front and goes, "Sildar, I'm so sorry." I'll take the cart round the back. You head in. I've got some ale and some bread and cheese for the table. Help yourself.
Oh, that's very good of you. I've not got any coin on me. I still got to see what I can drum up tomorrow, but...
Don't worry about it. We got you covered. We got your room.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. And he kind of heads in quickly. And you hop on the cart and take it round the back to kind of a makeshift barn come stable type thing. And the oxen, you tie them up and cover up all of the supplies on the back of the cart. And
I really sort of tuck it in and make sure it's not obvious.
Mm-hmm. And this Trelina, the woman that you saw Toblin call over, she says, yes, I think it's definitely wise that you cover everything up. I'm sure it will be fine. I don't have any worries or concerns that anything's going to happen, but, just in case. There are some unsavoury characters in this town for sure.
Trelina, forgive me, what is, are you one of the co-owners of the Stonehill?
Oh, yes, I'm Toblin's wife.
Of course, forgive me. I thought you might be, but I didn't
You're
want
new
to
here,
assume.
it's fine.
I thought it'd be rude to assume. Fantastic, yeah. Toblin seemed quite confident, but, don't worry, we're not going to be put off staying here if that's what you're worried about, but just person to person. If it's more of a concern in town than your husband was letting on, it'd be good for us to know so we can keep an eye out for you. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm not concerned that necessarily anything's going to be taken, but I mean, certainly these red brands are not nice people.
What have they been doing?
Well, I guess the worst of it is old Theldendra. He met a sticky end, I think. He was the local woodcarver. He decided about 10 days ago that he was going to stand up to these red brands and... Well, they'd been coming to his shop and leering at his wife, and then in response to him standing up to them, the ruffians decided that the best course of action was to murder him. So several of us saw it happen. The red brands just grabbed his body and took it away, and now it seems that his wife, daughter and son have gone missing as well, so...
We've killed someone.
Yep, that's how bold these guys are.
What was the man's name again?
Theldendra.
Theldendra. And his wife and children that have gone missing. What's his wife's name?
Oh, let me think now.
Don't worry if you don't know. It's me being nosy.
I'm not too familiar with them myself.
Don't worry.
I knew Thel a little better. Let me think. No. The names are escaping me, I'm afraid.
I was just thinking if we heard a name, we could keep an ear out for them. But you've been more than helpful for someone that you don't know. I appreciate it.
Thank you. But yes, as I say, I'm not necessarily concerned that your things are going to be stolen, but they're not particularly nice folk, so it would be best.
Well, I appreciate your honesty in terms of the actual severity of this group of fools in town.
Well, our pleasure. Shall we? And she kind of gestures indoors.
I don't want my ale to get warm and my cheese to get warm.
Indeed. And she strolls in, and you follow behind her, which I think would be a good point for us to take a little break, which of course brings this week's episode to a close, ready for next week's episode.